Okay, we're back up here. Continuation. We got 4 wires over there. The black wire, this one, it goes to the motor. The red wire, it goes to the motor. The green wire and the white wire, green wire and white wire, they're gonna go to the sensor. Okay, that would be on the SDC 100B, and on the SDC 102, the green wire goes to the motor, the yellow wire goes to the motor, the white wire is going to go to the sensor, and the brown wire is going to go to the sensor. Don't forget that. That's very, very important. Okay, now we'll go back to tearing apart the screwdriver. Okay, first of all, this cap is where this cap here, oops, got 2 little screws. This one here is the one which goes on top of the antenna. Turn it around, make it more familiar. It goes on top of all the screwdriver's antenna, and there on the top is where you put your whip. Alright, you see some of those little holes over there. Most of all the antennas they got on the top, you remove those little screws from the top, and this part is gonna come out. Okay, now we go back down. We're going back. This part here is just a slide back and forth. This is the bog shield to protect the coil. Okay, where you can see the coil. Alright, now these little holes on top of right in the middle of the base of the antenna, these are the ones. You got 2 screws, one on this side and one on the opposite side. These 2 screws, you're gonna have to remove these 2 screws in order to drop that motor down over there. Yeah, that one. In order to release that motor down, which goes all the way up here, all the way over there, you're gonna have to remove these 2 screws. Going down here, we got a whole, we got about 2 more, we got a whole bunch of screws which goes here. Also on this side at the bottom, you got 2 sets and another 2 sets, 2, 4, 6, 8 screws over there. Okay, you got 8 screws on this side. Those screws you're gonna have to remove those screws, because those screws, they're holding this part here, where your this part is where exactly your coax is gonna go to. Okay, this part is the one which, let me turn it around, let me turn this around like that, you can have a very nice view out of it. You can see it right there. We're using extra light. At the bottom is flat, and here is where your connections for your antenna at the bottom is gonna be. This connection, it goes inside here, and it's being held by all those screws all the way around all those screws. This, it goes here, and it's being holding down by all those screws at the base of the antenna. Okay, so when you push this in, you gotta make sure, see the numbers here, you got 1 and 2, and you got 1, 1 and 2 over there. I did that just to make sure I put it on the right side, the way I pull it out. Okay, just to make sure. I don't know if that has something to do with the way it should be aligned or not, but I want to make sure it goes the same way it came out, that one. And this part here, you're wondering, so how that connection is making the RF goes inside? You hear that? That's metal. Okay, this connection here, this is basically real tight with the tube, and it's touching him, very solid. It's touching him, and it's made confirming a lot of pressure when we put the screws over there. It's very tight, and that what makes it the conductivity of the RF going through this here, and I end up making contact with the bottom of the coil up there, with the bottom of the coil, in order to make sure we got a good radiation over there, good connection, electric connection, like that. The RF is gonna go out. I think that's the way it's supposed to work. So whenever you clean one of this, open up one of this screwdriver's antenna, make sure you clean this part real good. Like that, it's gonna be making good contact with the case here on the antenna. Alright, here we got the coil, and another thing is this coil, when you put the antenna together, raise the coil up and clean it. And you get it apart, so as might as well, or you can take it off. You just slide in and out, take it off, and clean the coil all the way down, just to make sure the coil is going to have a long life. And if you see any connections which they are a little bended or something like that, just straighten them out. Because I saw up on the top of the coil has a little bent connections on it because the counter, and I went and put them straight over there. Anyway, so this is the one down. We're going, sorry about that. And you can see it, how the antenna is being connected at the bottom. Another thing for troubleshooting, you can see it right there inside. See, very simple thing up here. Whenever you tear this apart, make sure all those connections there okay. Nothing is loose, nothing come up. Look like this one, pretty much everything is under control. I'm gonna give a double check to make sure everything is real tight also. Now we're coming down to the motor. Alright, this is the motor. Alright, these are the sensors. Two white, green and white, like I mentioned before here. Let me just focus, okay? The green and white, those are the two sensors. It goes to the sensors, it plugs right here. And black and red for the up and down wires. Okay, so that's basically connections. In here is the way I hook it up, test it out to make sure if it was gonna go up and down the antenna, or you can get a jumper connection. Connect this one, the black and white, with the black and white at the bottom of the antenna, just to make sure you don't have faulty connections. You can test it out to make sure if you have faulty connections right here or any broken wires, you can always just plug one wire on the black here and one wire on the red here to make sure the motor is gonna be working. If the motor is working and everything, so you can replace the wire. If the motor is working, you can replace the wire. You got broken wire somewhere along the line. That's why the motor is not going up and down. Alright, so we're basically going to put the antenna together, put it back together, and we're gonna test it out and see what's gonna happen. Oh, by the way, if you don't have one of those to detect power, you can use a simple tester. This is the ground. Okay, let me get it here. Alright, this is basically This is the ground. Put it on, plug it in on ground, any place on the ground, and